This one has taken on a life of its own. Anyways, the old coot here, coming back at you with another exciting video showing you all my ferment of Kvass meets kombucha. Kvassa. Anyways, whatever you want to call it. Basically, what's in there is, and I've kind of added to it as well. What's in there was water, honey, right? That was our base. And then I added a little bit more because I wanted to do a bigger jar. This is a 64-ounce mason jar. But I also added black tea, right? Just the tea leaves. I didn't boil them ahead of time. I just basically threw them in there to kind of do like a cold brew thing. Then there was, I forgot what else was in there. Hibiscus, right? We put some hibiscus in there. I believe we put some lavender in there and then some ginger in there. And basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a kvass meets kombucha kind of a thing where this is a probiotic drink. It's also got some antioxidants in there. What's going on is through the process of fermentation, right? The water and honey are helping with that. And I put in like a minuscule, like barely the tip of my pinky finger, like with salt, maybe like 10 grains of salt in there just to help to stave off the bad bacteria. But what's going on is this drink is fermenting and I'm actually starting to see some bubbles. See those bubbles on the top? So that's how I know that it's going. This has been going for about 48 hours and I'm going to let it go one more day to 72 to try to get a little bit more bubbly action on the top. Like this is all still good. It's still healthy. Some of the tea has floated to the top, which is totally fine. That's normal if that does happen. And then you will get some settling down here at the bottom. So what I'm doing is once a day, sometimes twice a day, I'll go in there with a big spoon and just stir it around, just try to remix everything together. But probiotics, right? It's a nice fruity beverage that's going to become carbonated, right? And that's natural carbonation, natural fermentation process. I'll show you all that probably tomorrow or maybe the next day of the process. But basically what we're trying to get is we're trying to pull out as much of the nutrients out of the hibiscus, the ginger, the honey, right? And the black tea as possible. The lavender is in there for more of like a flavoring kind of thing. I wanted like a mellow drink that had some good flavor to it. But sky's the limit. You could do this with strawberries, pineapple. There's like a Latin drink that's made out of pineapple, honey, and water that you could do. There's some cinnamon in there, I think. But sky's the limit in terms of fruit juices. You could even do this with grape juice, right? And pull it before it's just about to turn into wine, kind of. Or you could make wine if you want. It's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. But the process is 64-ounce mason jar. You can do this in a smaller container if you want to. And then what I did was I put a paper towel on top with a rubber band just to let it breathe, but that the bad insects or whatever doesn't fly in there and contaminate it all. But this is good. This is definitely a good sign. See those little tiny bubbles right there? That's a good sign. That means that the fermentation process has basically started. It's like just in the infancy stage of the fermentation. Eventually what this will taste like is, because of the honey, it's going to have some sweetness. And then because of the fermentation process, it's going to have like a little small bite to it, like a little pungent kick, a little sour kick. So it's sweet, it's sour. It's unlike the kombucha that you'll find in most stores because I know what's in here. I know I put what in. I know what I put in here. There's no hard chemicals. There's nothing that is, 10 syllables long in an explanation. But at the same time, like I know what's in here. Fraction of the cost of having to go buy, those $4 or $5 kombucha bottles. And you know what I'm talking about? So I made it myself. I know what it is. Anyways, 3 days on the countertop, give or take about 72 hours, maybe one extra day, like 90 hours, 96 hours or so. Then what I'll do is I'll bottle it with the flip top or the, slide top bottles, right? To basically keep in the carbonation. I'll let it sit on the countertop for like 1 day, bottled and capped. And then I'll immediately put it in the fridge to slow down and stop the fermentation process. If you're going to be doing this at home and you really want like a sour punch, you want a lot of carbonation, you want to flip that top open on your bottle and watch the explosion. Be careful because not all bottles are created equal and your bottle may actually explode like all over your kitchen, all over your countertop. So just be careful. Make sure to burp it. Make sure to open it up and burp it. But I find that this method works the best. 3 days on the countertop, filter it, right? Strain it out, pour it into the bottles that were designed for fermentation. like ferment proof, ferment grade bottles. Let it sit on the countertop for 1 day with the cap on, right, to build up the fermentation inside the natural carbonation. Put it in the fridge, and then basically after about 12 hours or so, 6 hours or so, when it's cooled down, then I can actually go ahead and try it and taste it, and et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, hope this video out there helps someone. Go back and watch the videos before this one to see how we got to this point. But this is looking amazing. The hibiscus is making this a nice, good purple color. And all this stuff is eventually going to get filtered out or strained out. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a big stir to kind of make sure that everything's mixing in the liquid, et cetera, et cetera. Every once in a while, you may notice like elevator action. Like something from up here may sink to the bottom. Something from the bottom may float up to the top. It's probably going to be a piece of the black tea, or it's going to be a piece of the hibiscus or whatever it is. But like I said, I put everything in raw to try to optimize the good yeast, the good bacteria that would help with the fermentation process. That's why I didn't boil this and then try to ferment it afterwards. So that's another reason for that. But anyways, hope this video out there helps someone. There are links down below in the description, also in the comment section. I'm the Old Coot, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting adventure.